Okay, so I'll just show you what we did last time. We now have a start menu, so you can press start and start the game. And if you die, then you restart the level from the beginning. And then what we also did was, if we go down here, give me a second. You can see this, and that is the target you're going to try to explode. So if you exploded it enough times, specifically 5 times, then you will see it starts loading again and increments the level counter. However, what we need to do now is make it so the terrain generation changes when the level, so that the terrain generation is different depending on the level. So we need a variable, let level, and then we'll say that level equals message dot data index 3. So then, in the sketch.js, okay, so in the sketch.js, we can go to where the terrain is generated, wherever that is. Oh, the code is so long now. Okay. So then we can stick the level variable in there. And when it starts loading again, we would have to give it the level again. So let me find this real quick. Ah, yes. So then we can just stick level in there. And when the level is lower, we would want the terrain to be lower too, so not as much radar is blocked by mountains and stuff. So I guess what we can do is, okay, where do you generate the height map? That's a radar array. Oh, this is the radar 2. I'm in the wrong file. Okay, here it is. So here we can map this. And I believe we know this is between 0 and 255. And then we want to map it to between 0 and, guess we can say level, what should I do? Level over, oh, this is tricky. Okay, let's do level over 10. And then we want to multiply this by 255. So at level 10, it will be the regular terrain, as you can see here. So yeah, now it's all ocean, which I guess is interesting. So if I was to go to the web developer section, the console, then airbase dot damage, and we'll do 500 damage. That'll kill it. Then you can see the level is increased, and it looks like the terrain is a bit higher. Okay, let's do that again. We might see some land this time. Okay, maybe not. Let's try again. Okay, this clearly needs some balancing, because there's still no land even at level 4. So anyways, let's do that again. Still no land at level 5. Still nothing. Ah, there are beaches now. That's something, I guess. But yeah, this definitely needs to be balanced. So now there's that. And we're at level 9, and there's still 0 mountains. Okay, now we're at normal terrain. Okay, let's try to balance this a bit more. So I don't think mapping this is the best idea. Okay, so I think what we can do is divide this by 256. Actually, it's probably a better way. Let's make this 1 and just not multiply it out here. And then remove those parentheses. And then multiply all that by 6. And then we should see the same terrain generation as usual. Which we seem to have. So that's pretty good. So then that means we can, before multiplying by 256, we can raise this to the power of level. Except we should probably do 10 minus level. Oh goodness, that is weird. So that would have so this has the effect of reducing of essentially scaling the height down, but it will scale the height down less depending on how high it is. Sort of tricky to explain. So clearly this doesn't work, and I guess I'm not entirely surprised. So I guess what we can do is try mapping this again. And we know this is between 0 and 1, except let's try mapping it to between 0 and level over 2 instead of 10. So let's maybe make that 5. Okay, so we definitely have ocean for way too much time. So I'm just tweaking some numbers. So I'm just going to divide the level by 2 this time. And also taking it to the power of, what should I take it to the power of? Let's do level over 3. Okay, so this isn't very good. We'd still want oceans for the first level. We still want to, like completely oceans for the first level. Maybe if we remove this, or I guess make it have less of effect. Okay, that's definitely better. It's still mostly oceans, which is good. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so that's definitely a bit too much. So I think I might be using the wrong approach. Maybe if I was to have it so that I would be multiplying this by level, what should I do? Plus 5. Divided by some number. Maybe 2. Or maybe I can add this. Actually, that wouldn't work. I think I'd have to subtract this. Except I'd have to subtract 5. Let's try doing the same formula for the beaches. So I think I'm adding too small a value to this. So let's try multiplying this by 30. Then copying this over. Okay, so that's... the mountains are broken, obviously. So, how can I fix this? I think I need to stick this formula in here. And here. Okay, it's still broken, but less so, I would say. Maybe I'm still going about this the wrong way. Maybe I should, like... hold on. Maybe I should, like, subtract from this value? Like, maybe subtract level... or I guess add to this. Then we can do level minus 5. And multiply that by... actually divide that by, say, 50. Actually, 50 might be too big. I guess we'll see. So yeah, this is looking significantly more reasonable. So that's quite a bit of a jump there. Maybe let's subtract 6 and divide this by a bigger number. Okay. So I guess when the value gets too high, it starts breaking. So I guess that shouldn't be too hard to fix. We can just cap this value. So math.min of this value and 1. So it will never go above 1. Okay, so this thing gets extremely impossible extremely quickly. Which I think isn't necessarily bad, but like, you know. I also feel like the mountains shouldn't be as high for the lower levels. So for this, I'm just going to multiply a level over 15. And again, I'm going to have to cap this. And I'll have to cap it at 1. Okay, that's in the wrong spot. Okay. I think maybe we should divide by a number smaller than 15. Okay, it's broken now. I guess, capping them didn't work for some reason. Is like 1 somehow too high a number? Ah, this should be less than or equal to 1. Okay, so we're not seeing any artifacts, which is good. So I guess now we have to make some icons for the thing you're supposed to be shooting. So yeah, we would need some we need some icons for this thing. And since it can be on either water or land, it would make sense to have 2 icons. Which is why I was checking for it last time. So for the water, I'm going to do an aircraft carrier. So I'm just going to look up a quick reference image. Sure. Then just go into Inkscape. Here's Inkscape. Inkscape takes a while to start. So anyways, I'm just gonna play some music while I'm doing that. There we go. This isn't a very good song. Ah! Okay, so I've done a terrible aircraft carrier, but I guess it'll work. So I have to go in the... Oh, where is it? In here, and then in the ocean, I can remove this, and this, and this, and if I can find then this, yes. Anyways, so I can copy that into here, except also I have to add an aircraft carrier to the assets. So new image, then assets dot aircraft carrier dot source equals the aircraft carrier dot svg, and it looks like I misspelled it, so I'm just going to there we go. And then I'd have to change this to the aircraft carrier asset. Okay, let's see how bad this looks. And it doesn't exist. Okay. That's interesting. What would be the issue there? Okay, what's airbase.ocean? False. Okay. So that's not good. I guess it thinks it's not an ocean. I mean, not in ocean. So what's the issue? What if I stick this in here? Undefined. Okay, that's not very good. So what's wrong with this? What index does it give me for this? Okay, it's something 0.3, so that's not very good. So I think what I can do is round it there. Wait, no, that wouldn't work. I need to put that in the rounding thing. Okay, let's try this. And there it is. You can see the aircraft carrier. Ah, it looks so bad. Anyways, I guess now I have to make some sort of airbase for on land. So I'm just gonna make a new thing and look for an airbase thing. Ha! So I think it can just have some buildings and runways for this. So that should be a bit easier. That's not a good song either. Neither is this. Okay. So now I have to do basically just the same thing as before. Okay, let's try this out. Hey, you can see it there. Oh, it looks so bad. Oh, whatever. Anyways, I said I have a checklist, so here it is. So I have, I've got this, and this today. So let's just do this one. So we need the missile to just automatically explode if it's been in the air for enough time. So let's just go to the missile object. I think this is it. And then we need some sort of maximum amount of frames. So we can have this dot frames equals let's allow it to be on screen for, say, 5 seconds. So what is 5 times 60? 5 times 60 is 300. Okay. So frames equals 300. So then every frame will subtract a frame. So this dot frames minus minus. And also if this dot frames is if it's greater than, wait, no, if it's less than or equal to 0, then this dot to remove is true. Okay. So now missiles can only be on screen for 5 seconds. So I guess we can demonstrate that here. Okay, never mind. Okay. I think what I can do is, instead of having this here, have it here so it'll explode. So I'll have that. So it will explode if it's close to the target, or if this dot frames is less than or equal to 0. And also for testing, let's give it fewer frames. Actually, maybe not just for testing. 5 seconds is kind of a lot. Okay, so yeah, you can see it exploded kind of early. So that's pretty good. So then we would also want to see how far we can shoot a missile. So we need to draw a circle for that. So let's go to the player object. Then when we draw it, we'll do draw dot begin path and draw dot arc. And then for x and y, this will just be this dot x minus camera dot x and this dot y minus camera dot y. And then the radius will be 150 times however fast the missiles can go. So how fast is that? That is the enemy's code. Okay, terrain width over 400. So let's copy that. So that'll be the radius, and then we want it to do the full 360 degrees. So we'll just do 0 and math.pi times 2. And then we'll do draw.stroke, because we don't want it to fill the circle in. Then we want to give the circle a color, so stroke style is RGBA. Then we'll set it to black with a transparency of 0.5. Okay. So yeah, it seems like it's working. Except the circle is I feel like it's not transparent enough. Ah yes, much better. So yeah, it seems to be working properly. So that is very good. I also think it would be good to draw that on draw the same thing, but on the missile. So let's just copy this, and if the missile is to be drawn, then we'll just stick that there. And instead of having 150, we'll say this dot frames. So yeah, you can see that works pretty well. And it'll also give you an idea for how much farther a missile can go before exploding. So anyways, we can take that off the checklist. And then we would also want to have it not spawn enemies by default. Okay, so when you start, there are no enemies on screen now. Anyways, I think that is pretty good for today. So we shall continue this next time. And tomorrow, me and Matthew will be doing binarysearch.io, which should be pretty fun. So I guess you can look forward to that.